Perfect.
Hey, Goldens fans, this is Rick, and today I'm actually doing an interview with my good friend Clayton here in my backyard. Why? Because it is a fabulously beautiful day in March, and as of the recording of this video, it is, what's today, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
So that means we're like 5 days from time change. Won't be long now. We'll be out riding in the evening. What?
Wednesday.
Oh, today's Wednesday.
Haircut day.
Haircut day. That's why we're actually here doing a video. Full disclosure, Clayton and I have been friends for over 12 years now. And we actually used to work as police officers. In fact, if you think back, you were actually one of my training officers for the little bit of time you were there, or I was there. And the reason we're doing this is because we're going to talk about bicycle law. I mean, many of us that are watching this video, we ride in the road. I'm a big road rider. Everybody knows that. I like long distance, and a lot of you who are watching this video do too. And if you've been watching any of my other videos, you've been seeing I've had a couple incidences with vehicles along the way. So I thought the idea, hey, what does the law say about riding a bicycle on the road? And so I've invited Clayton here, and he's going to talk about it. And of course, we're talking specifically about Georgia law because that's where we live. But I'm going to put a link in the bottom that will give you a website you can go to, and you can check out what bicycle law is in your state, wherever you happen to be watching this. So, Clayton, all right, I guess the big question is a bicycle a vehicle?
The state of Georgia does consider bicycles vehicles.
All right, so that means we are not supposed to blow through traffic lights yelling clear.
Absolutely. We shouldn't do that.
We should not do that. We should...
Stop.
Yes. Please. How about stop signs?
Yeah, so basically anything red. So just like you're driving your car, if it's a red light, or for that matter, if it's a yellow light or an amber light, you need to be prepared to stop, and then stop signs at will and proceed just like you're a normal vehicle.
Okay, well then that's news to me because I'll be honest with you, I've rolled through more than one traffic light in my life, and I'm not proud of that, but that is the reality of riding, right? So we really shouldn't be doing that. That's a bad idea. Bad idea is also against the law. Let's see what else. Well, if you can't ride, that means you can ride in the street then.
Yeah, absolutely. You can ride in the street.
Can you ride like 5 wide?
No, you can't. So obviously, with it being recognized as a vehicle in the state of Georgia, the law would require you to stay as far as right as safely possible to do so when you're riding. And it also stipulates that you shouldn't ride, or that you won't ride more than 2 abreast. So 2 wide is kind of the max. We can't clog up the whole lane.
Okay, all right. So that, of course, brings me to the big question that I've been dealing with lately. And you probably saw my video I posted this week. Like you and I were talking about that at lunchtime. Was that when you as a driver, now, of course, we're making the video for cyclists, and we're going to talk a little bit more about what a bicycle should and shouldn't do. But it comes to the question of how about passing a bicycle? I mean,
yeah. So I hate to use the word common sense, but really we should use some common sense. But the law does state if you are operating a motor vehicle, and that's the 2 distinctions here in the state of Georgia. A vehicle, a bicycle is included in that. A motor vehicle is obviously something that's motor driven. Okay. But if you're in a motor vehicle and you come upon a cyclist, the law does require you to, when you safely can, get over at least. If there's another lane, you should get over another lane. Mm-hmm. If there's space to do so, you should allow at least 3 or 4 feet. That's actually detailed in the law. And that's designed so that if something were to happen, the cyclist could theoretically tip over without getting run over. Another part of that law, it stipulates that you should slow below the posted speed limit at least by 10 miles an hour.
Really?
At least 10 miles an hour when you're passing a cyclist.
Wow. So in reality, when you go, even if you move over to another lane, you really should back out of it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let the vehicle have, let the bicycle have its time.
And let's think about it. I mean, even an avid cyclist on flat ground, if you're doing a distance ride, what are we holding, 17, 18, 19 miles an hour?
Yeah, somewhere around there. Some of our elites will keep it up in the 20s, but not me.
So a motor-driven vehicle, for example, should be able to pass a cyclist safely without having to just suck the stripes off of them, so to speak.
Exactly.
As you've experienced here.
As I have experienced. And unfortunately, that's not been the first time. It's just the first couple times I've caught it on camera. And I might even add in the end to some of my experiences over the years. I was actually talking to... it was a while back. I was talking to somebody else about passing a vehicle, and it involved that same conversation about the 3 feet. And you may not realize, and as a motorist, you don't realize that your vehicle actually creates a vacuum.
Absolutely does.
And a bicycle is very attuned to what the wind's doing.
Yep.
So if it's a breezy day and you go by with a car too close, in reality, and I didn't prompt you with this question, but in reality, that vacuum could actually suck you up to the car.
So think about it like this:
close.
if you're driving your vehicle, your standard size sedan or pickup truck on the interstate, and you're passing an 18-wheeler, when you get to that point where you're passing that 18-wheeler, experienced drivers know they're going to feel that
draft
tug or that So air does crazy things, and you can't see it; you can only feel it.
Oh, wow.
My experience as a canine handler, that was one of the things we had to document was barometric pressure and all those sorts of things.
Really?
So, but certainly you're absolutely correct. That exchange of air on a bicycle is exaggerated because,
it's small.
The weight of the bicycle and whatever the weight of the rider is versus a several ton vehicle. So,
that is. I actually learned something in that shot of questions. How about riding a bicycle at night? That's always well. Let me back up a minute. I'm a big one personally. I'm being seen.
I'm aware.
If you ever hang around me any amount of time, there's the ABCs of safety, right? Always have your lights on. I mean daytime running lights, not something you bought at Walmart that goes flashy, flashy. You want to be seen. You also want to use your biomotion to your advantage, right? I mean, your head moves, your feet move. Put things on there to highlight you so you can be seen. Give the vehicles a chance, will you? And 3 is dressing in contrast. We talk about dressing in multiple colors. That way you can actually see the lines. Now, with that said, what about riding at night when you're not seen quite as well?
Well, so, obviously when we started Power Hour a few years ago, night per se, it was early morning but dark. I used to pretty regularly make the joke that you had more money in lights than I had in my entire bike. But that's neither here nor there. Law does speculate that at nighttime you have to have a headlight that's visible for 300 feet. The fancy word is in normal atmospherical conditions. You can get away with legally with having a reflector in the back that's red, but obviously, it's well worth your money to have a light or two from the back. Because you have to ride in the same direction. Even with a bike lane, you have to ride in the same direction as traffic. So the red lights in the back, and for the amount of money they're not incredibly expensive, and they really are visible. So
no, when you come right down to it, being seen in your life, as you said that, it dawned on me. The requirement for a motor vehicle, I know this from my days as a police officer, is headlights that reflect 300 feet down the road, right? Minimum.
Yep.
So, and in reality, the bikes are a vehicle and they're under the same requirements. So that 300 feet is very important. And I'll be honest with you, as I drive around town, something else you said about riding with traffic. Let me state this. I'm not even going to ask him this one. Bicycles ride with traffic, not against traffic. Okay, just so you know that if you're traveling somewhere, ride with traffic and have a good set of lights on. Absolutely. Well, why can't I just ride on the sidewalk then?
Well, other than it says sidewalk, not side ride. Obviously, here in LaGrange, we have the thread, which is a multi-use path, obviously.
Different, right?
And there is a provision in law that if you're under the age of 12, I think, and you're not accompanied by an adult or something like that, don't quote me, but you can ride on a sidewalk. But otherwise, if you're going to do road cycling, you need to do it on the road or a designated bike path, which, there's a handful of those around as well.
Yeah.
Lanes.
And that would qualify as, when you say road ride, anybody who's really traveling somewhere on a bike.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because some people commute, right? There are some people who commute back and forth. Okay, so as cyclists, I don't know about you, Clayton, but I know you because you and I hang out some together, but I like to drink a beer after I get done riding.
On occasion.
Yeah. So when I get done riding and drinking a beer is good, but then drinking a beer and going for a ride, what do you think about that?
Well, you can get a DUI on a bicycle.
Can you really?
I would say never a proponent of drinking and driving or drinking and riding. But an adult can have a beer with their meal and drive home. I would say apply the same common sense to riding a cycle. It would make me incredibly heavy. I don't know that I would make it home, whether I was intoxicated or not.
Yeah.
But in my 20 years as a police officer, I have made one DUI on a bicycle. My hand was kind of forced. I wasn't out hunting for it, but the guy kind of wouldn't take no for an answer, and I was, it was either me allow him to go on about his way and have that on my conscience, God forbid, had something happen, or use kind of the legal teeth that I had, and we could have deal in court. But you certainly can get a DUI on a bicycle. Again, it's considered a vehicle in the state of Georgia.
As
So,
some of the cyclists or people I see riding around town, DUI may not be a bad idea for some of them. So, all right, well, that's just about all the questions I have. But Kate, you got anything else you want to add in there? Something? I mean, we talked about a lot of stuff before we even went on camera.
I mean, there's just kind of some little knick-knack things. You know, you can't have a specialized bike where, not the brand,
Good point.
but you know, the handlebars can't be mounted such that your hands are above your shoulders. So
no ape hangers,
no ape hangers or low rider bikes or whatnot. And you know, we all like to get fancy and sometimes a little dumb on a cool downhill. We like to sit up and stretch a little bit if you got good balance. But law actually states, just like driving a car, you got to have at least one hand on the wheel, one hand on the bars. So just a little food for thought that probably not a lot of people would think about when they're out and about. So.
Well, Clayton, that has been very inspirational and informative because I mean, here's a guy, I've been riding 20 years and I've been a police officer, and you actually taught me one thing that I didn't realize. And definitely through our research, we did that.
Sure.
So, hey, Golden's fans, do this. If you got questions, leave a comment below for us, and we'll do our best to get back to you with an answer. And look up your state and find out what's going on there. It'll be at the bottom. And, well, in that case, thank you very much, Clayton. And
wear your helmets.
Wear your helmets. Always wear a helmet. You only got one brain, right? Okay. Leave a like. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Ride safe. I invited Clayton here today, and you gotta be kidding me.
I silenced mine.
Brooke McDaniel. Well, I'm going to answer this, and we'll go back to this in a minute. Hello. How did you know I was making a video? Okay, all right. Budget promoting our track world.
You want to go trek up front and I'll go accent in the back, or what?
Sure, that works. There we go.
There we go.
All about the advertisement. So, which I'll explain that some other day, and I'll probably actually cut that piece out so you'll never get to see it anyway. In full disclosure, Clayton off. But just so you know, we're literally got the camera running live right now because you did actually call right in the middle of the interview, and I forgot to silence my phone. So say hello to the camera, Brooke.
Hi, yeah, come get insurance from American Family.
There you go. Come get insurance from American Family. Thank you. All right, I'll stop. Thank you for letting me know that.